For 22 years, Michael Carter pushed the same old cleaning cart through the halls of a towering office building in downtown Chicago. Most people never noticed him. Every morning before sunrise, he mopped floors, emptied trash bins, wiped fingerprints from glass doors, and quietly disappeared before the executives arrived. To the hundreds of employees who worked there, Michael was invisible. Some greeted him politely. Most walked past him without a word. A few treated him as if he didn't exist at all. But Michael never complained. Every day he smiled. Every day he worked. Every day he carried a secret. A secret nobody in that building could have imagined. One rainy Monday morning, a young employee named Ethan rushed through the lobby. He was late for an important meeting. It wrinkled, his tie was crooked, and he looked exhausted. As he hurried toward the elevator, a folder slipped from his hands. Papers scattered across the floor. People stepped around them. Nobody stopped. Nobody helped. Except Michael. The old janitor parked his cleaning cart and knelt down on the marble floor. Together they gathered the papers. "Thank you," Ethan said. Michael smiled. "Tough morning?" Ethan laughed nervously. "You have no idea." Michael handed him the last sheet. "Whatever it is, you'll get through it." Those simple words stayed with Ethan all day. Over the following weeks, he began talking to Michael whenever he saw him. At first, it was just small conversations, then longer ones. Eventually, Michael became the person Ethan spoke to whenever life felt overwhelming. One evening, Ethan found Michael cleaning a conference room. "You always seem happy," Ethan said. "How?" Then he smiled. "I learned a long time ago that life doesn't owe us fairness." Ethan sat down. Michael continued, "It only gives us chances." The answer seemed simple, but something about it felt powerful. Over the next few months, Ethan's career began to improve. He earned a promotion. His confidence grew. And every step of the way, Michael encouraged him. Whenever Ethan faced a challenge, Michael somehow knew exactly what to say. It was almost as if he'd lived 100 different lives. One snowy December evening, Ethan asked a question. "Why are you still doing this job?" Michael looked around the empty office. "What do you mean? Don't you ever want something different?" For the first time, Michael laughed. A deep laugh. A genuine laugh. Then he said something strange. "Maybe one day I'll retire." Ethan nodded. Neither of them realized how soon that day would come. 3 months later, disaster struck. The company announced major layoffs. Employees panicked. Rumors spread through every department. People whispered in hallways. Managers avoided eye contact. Nobody felt safe. Not even Ethan. One Friday afternoon, hundreds of workers gathered in the main lobby for an emergency meeting. The CEO stood up front. The atmosphere felt heavy. Everyone expected bad news. The CEO cleared his throat. Then he made an announcement nobody expected. "I have important news regarding the ownership of this building." Confused faces filled the room. Ownership? What did that have to do with layoffs? The CEO continued. "The building has been sold." Gasps echoed through the lobby. Employees exchanged nervous looks. The CEO raised his hand. "But the new owner has requested to address everyone personally." The crowd fell silent. A side door opened. Footsteps echoed across the marble floor. People turned and froze, because walking toward the stage was Michael, the janitor. His cleaning uniform was gone. Instead, he wore a tailored navy suit. For several seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Nobody understood. Ethan stared in disbelief. Michael stepped onto the stage. Then he faced the crowd and smiled. The same smile he had worn for 22 years. "I suppose I owe everyone an explanation." Was silent. "You know me as the janitor." A few nervous laughs emerged. Michael nodded. "That's true." Then his expression softened. "But it's not the whole story. He took a slow breath. 25 years ago, I started a small construction company. People listened carefully. At first, business was terrible. He described sleeping in his truck, missing meals, working 18-hour days, nearly going bankrupt. But eventually, the company succeeded. Then succeeded again, and again. Over time, Michael quietly built one of the most successful commercial property firms in the Midwest. Employees stared in shock. Many thought they had heard him incorrectly. Michael continued. Years ago, my company purchased a small share of this building. He paused. Then another share. And another. Until eventually, he smiled. We owned the entire property. The room exploded with whispers. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. One executive looked as though he might faint. Ethan sat frozen. Michael had been a millionaire all along. No, not a millionaire. A billionaire. Yet every morning he arrived before sunrise and cleaned floors. Why? The question burned in everyone's mind. Michael seemed to sense it. I know what you're wondering. The room became quiet again. Why would someone who owns the building work here as a janitor? He looked around slowly, then gave his answer. Because this job reminds me who I am. Nobody moved. Nobody even blinked. Michael continued. When I was young, people judged me by my clothes, my car, my bank account. And every time I became more successful, more people treated me differently. He shook his head. So I decided to find out something. The room listened carefully. I wanted to know how people treat someone who appears to have nothing. Silence. For 22 years, Michael had watched, observed, learned. He had seen kindness, cruelty, compassion, arrogance, generosity, and selfishness, all from the perspective of a man pushing a cleaning cart. Then Michael smiled toward Ethan. And occasionally, I met remarkable people. Ethan suddenly felt every eye in the room turn toward him. His face turned red. Michael continued. People who stop to help. People who show respect. People who treat others with dignity. Many employees lowered their heads. Some remembered the times they had ignored him. Others remembered speaking harshly to him. A few quietly wiped tears from their eyes. Then Michael delivered one final surprise. The layoffs have been canceled. The room erupted. Cheers echoed through the lobby. Some employees hugged each other. Others cried openly. But Michael wasn't finished. Instead, he announced a new employee assistance fund worth $10 million. The fund would help workers facing medical emergencies, family crises, and financial hardship. Many people couldn't hold back tears, especially Ethan. After the meeting ended, he found Michael standing alone near the lobby windows. Snow was falling outside, just as it had the night they discussed retirement. Ethan shook his head. I don't even know what to say. Michael smiled. You don't have to say anything. Ethan laughed. You could have told me. Michael looked outside. Would our conversations have been the same if you knew? Ethan thought about it. Probably not. Michael nodded. That's exactly why I didn't. For a moment, neither man spoke. Then Michael turned toward him. Never underestimate the value of kindness. Ethan smiled. Michael continued. Most people think kindness changes the life of the person receiving it. He pointed gently toward Ethan. But sometimes it changes the life of the person giving it. Years later, Ethan would become CEO of the company. And hanging behind his desk was a framed photograph. Not of a famous entrepreneur, not of a president, not of a celebrity, but of an old janitor pushing a cleaning cart through an empty hallway. Beneath the photograph was a simple sentence. Never know who you're walking past. Treat everyone with kindness. And every time someone asked about it, Ethan told the same story. The story of the janitor who owned the building. The man who proved that character is worth more than status, and that the greatest people often wear the simplest uniforms.